Well, now I want to turn to high rail modeling. And the sponsor for this is Millhouse Studio Models. Pat, if we could run that video, please.
Millhouse River Studio builds model train working accessories that are made to last generations. Millhouse River products are built out of aluminum and have scale brass details that even the most demanding scale modeler will appreciate. Since our industry entry in 2009 with the introduction of our flagship turntable, Millhouse River has continued to add new, innovative products, like our scale transfer table, rotary coal dumper, flood coaling tower and, most recently, a working conveyor that transports coal from the dumper to the loader. All of Millhouse River Studio's stunningly realistic products are currently available in O scale. We are adding new scales on some products, including the upcoming release of an HO scale turntable featuring our aluminum construction and stunning brass details that is big enough to handle a big boy locomotive. When it comes to your layout, don't settle for less, get Millhouse River Studio.
And our host for this segment is Dennis Brennan. Welcome, Dennis.
Hey, Jim. Hi guys. Couple things I want to thank Al Zamorski of Millhouse River Studios for sponsoring the show. And if you haven't checked him out, you should check him out. I'm trying to get him to come on the show so he can talk about exactly what it is he does. And I think his operation is pretty slick. So I'm working on that. And I want to thank Paul Reeves for hosting my show last month while I was in Ireland for 3 weeks, which was a lot of fun. And maybe we'll talk about that someday. But I didn't get a chance to do any trains over there. And then the most exciting news for me is what Jim told you about. I was asked to be the manufacturer liaison for O-Scale Central. And I told Jim I was amazed by that. Jim said, why? And it got me to thinking, why? Well, he said, you shouldn't be surprised because of everything that you've accomplished. And so I guess I had to reflect, and I went back to third grade. Third grade is when I discovered Frank Ellison and the Oblong Box Company. And I think I may have talked about that before, but I was walking past this old used bookstore on the way back from a Saturday matinee on a winter day, and I thought I'd just stop in there before I caught the bus. And I was looking for comics, Superman, Batman, whatever. And I saw a Toy Trains book from like 1952 or 51. And this is now probably 1957, 58. I picked it up and I found that article by Frank Ellison about the Oblong Box Company and his description of the town and the building and how it came to be and how one industry led to another and switching just really, really struck home. And that was the day that I stopped playing with toy trains and became a model railroader. And I have to say that that is where it all started. And that's what led me to where I am today. Now, back then, I wanted to build that structure, the Oblong Box Company, but I was stymied because I couldn't find brick paper, which was one of the things that he suggested. And so I never did it. And then we go skip ahead to when I started Brennan's Model Railroading in '97, and that was because I was building my own layout, my first permanent layout in my basement, and I was looking for some ballast. And the ballast that was available commercially just didn't measure up to what I wanted. I wanted something that was just a smidge bigger and just looked better than anything else that I'd seen. And I went and searched and I found something. And my wife is the one who said, well, you know what? You ought to sell that. And so Brennan's Model Railroading was born. And I wasn't looking to start a major business. I just thought, okay, this will be a fun little thing and maybe, give me a few bucks to support my hobby. And then I wrote an article for Classic Toy Trains when it came out. And I just kept going. And then a book, Realistic Modeling for High Rail, for Toy Trains, a high rail guide. And one thing has led to another, and here I am. And I guess the point of all of this is it doesn't matter if you're 3-rail, doesn't matter if you're 2-rail, doesn't matter if you're Proto 48, 148, or ON3 or ON30. What matters is the modeling. And it's the modeling that got me to where I am today. And nobody's a born modeler. I certainly wasn't. Yes, I have a degree in art, and I've studied photography and filmmaking, and I had, I covered a lot of things, sculpture. And the hobby is made up of all of that. But you don't have to be an expert in any of it. I wasn't a born modeler. Just because I had a degree in art doesn't make me a good modeler. What made me a good modeler is just that you just try and you get better. Some people have a natural affinity for some things. I have that in photography. But modeling, not necessarily. I had to learn and learn by doing, and I just kept doing it. And I really enjoyed it. And the key about modeling is just having patience and using your imagination. And the imagination sparks some inspiration. And that's going to be something that's coming up shortly. Paul Reeves is going to host a new show. Imagination leads to inspiration. And that's what it's all about. If you see something, if you want to do something, go out and look at the real thing. Take a picture. Let it inspire you. You can dream it up in your head. I dream up a lot of things in my head, but then I'll go and look for a real life thing. And if you look at the real life thing and then figure out how you're going to make that, just break it down into shapes. It's the shape that you have to look for. And that shape can be anything, a household item, anything that you find that will help you get to what you want to model. And there's plenty of stuff out there like evergreen styrene and Plastruct, and there's lots of detail pieces you can buy. It's a lot easier to model today than it was back 60, 70 years ago when Frank Ellison was doing this stuff. So anyway, that's what I want to say. Don't let the idea that you're playing with trains, don't think about it as playing with trains. Think about being a model railroader. And then 3 rails doesn't make any difference. Modeling is modeling, and Jim has told me that over and over and over again. And I just have to say, thank you, Jim. Thank you for encouragement. Thank you for this show. And I have to thank all the supporters, all the people who tune in and watch. It's fun. And I'm just going to keep on going, and we'll see where it leads. Now, one little thing, any manufacturers that are on this program and that are maybe watching, please contact me, because you should be looking into O-Scale Central. It's a chance for us as manufacturers to all get together, and basically we can help one another. Think of it as maybe a think tank. Think of it as a way that we can all pool resources and stuff, and just be a clearinghouse to help each other out, as well as other things. I'm looking for suggestions. So give me a holler. You can find me at Brennan's Model Railroading. I will put an email down and a message board. And I think that's about it. So thank you. And it's back to you, Jim.
Well, Dennis, thank you so much.